I was gonna be hurt if you weren't coming back. It's just like, well, Britney, guess what? I'm a traitor. Me.
Hey guys, today we're talking the Traitors episode 9. We're picking up where we left off, and they are discussing recruiting Britney.
Yeah. And
Carolyn is not having it.
No, Carolyn is. This is by far the smartest choice that Carolyn's made, and probably the only smart choice she's made, as we see later. She's a moron.
Now, I think there is a point if you recruit Britney and she's ousted as a traitor. I think that's the only way that works.
Yeah, well, and that's the selling point that freaking Danielle was trying to make. Even
but
though,
is that how it's going to go down?
Hell no. No, ain't no way hell it went down.
If you're Carolyn, you can't trust that. I mean, she's smart to stand her ground on that one.
Yeah, exactly.
I like, it kind of makes sense. I just can't go for it.
Yeah.
exactly.
No, if you trust the other traitor that you're with, then sure.
Okay.
But it does not work in this scenario. But I also think they should have still recruited.
Yeah, I think they should have recruited a dude. I really do. I think it would have benefited them if they brought a dude in with them.
Yeah, so Carolyn's not going for it. So they're kind of in a pickle here.
Yeah, so they decided to murder.
Yeah, is this a good idea?
Well, see, now here's the thing, right? So they're like, and Carolyn was kind of pissing me off in this because Danielle's listening to all these people to murder, and Carolyn's like, no. And then they ended up murdering one of them anyway, right? But at the same time, I was like, when Danielle mentioned Sam, I was like, that's probably a good pick right there. That's probably a good guy to murder. And then Carolyn was like, no to him, and I was like, what the hell are you saying? Keep saying no about everybody for?
She doesn't trust Danielle.
No, she just didn't want to agree to
Danielle just needed to shut up and be like, what is it you want to do?
Exactly.
But shouldn't they maybe consider murdering someone that would never get chosen at the round table?
Yeah, they did talk about Dolores, right? So
yeah. I mean, is anyone ever going to target Dolores?
Right, exactly.
So maybe you just get rid of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what is she doing for the show?
She's throwing off votes.
Yeah,
she's really screwing up the round table with the votes.
Her and Tom both are morons. And it's just like those two. And really, I mean, the only reason Dolores is picking Tom is because Tom's picking her. And really, Dolores is actually doing it as a throwaway vote because she just doesn't want to choose between those two, is what it seems like. So, it's like, why are you even in the game? If you're just going to be doing throwaway votes all the time, then just get the hell off the show because...
Well, at one point, she did have a whiteboard and wrote suspects on it. We didn't see anything further. But no suspects. Maybe she did complete it.
It was like lipstick on her.
Maybe she did complete it.
Yeah, but I mean, Dolores serves no purpose on this show. None.
But Carolyn and Gabby come in, and Gabby's talking to Carolyn like, hey, I'm on board with this Danielle thing. And Carolyn's like, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yep.
Carolyn's face is, man, when she gets an idea or she's thinking about, I'm like, I wonder where those faces are coming from. Is she trying to think of what to say? Is she processing? But I mean, sometimes she gets excited. She's like, you just said Danielle's name.
You said Danielle.
She makes the oddest face. Is she trying to make these weird faces, or is that natural for
I
her?
realize it's one of her quirks,
but
I'm trying to figure out when she does it. What's her tell? Is that she's thinking, or or is she process? I guess thinking and processing the same. Is she thinking about what to say or what she's heard?
Dylan gets her. He's seen her show. He gets her.
Yeah,
seen quite a bit, but it's between Sam, Dylan, and Dolores.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, which are the three names that freaking Danielle threw out, and they kind of was saying no to all, and then we're like, well, who the hell are they going to pick? And then they picked Sam, which was a good choice.
No recruitment, and we just last episode, I feel like Sam was coming out of his shell, and now he's gone.
I know.
So that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But at least it wasn't Dylan.
That's what I was thinking.
And Dylan's doing ab workouts all day. He looks like he's getting buffer each episode. I'm like, what the heck's going on here?
We can get more highlights of that. I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
And now people are finally starting to suspect Danielle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's starting to pile up.
Yeah, it's looking the right way for Carolyn at this point. People are starting to suspect Danielle. Everything's going Carolyn's
now,
way.
starting to get on board.
Oh, yeah. And
you're like, ride or die with
so
Danielle.
You're thinking, Carolyn might pull this off, even though it's really not Carolyn pulling it off, but at least she might get rid of Danielle. Right?
Yeah,
so.
and that's what she wants.
I don't really like the way either one of them play the traitor role, right? No. But I will say this is where Danielle had the leg up, is that she never did say Carolyn's name. She kept hinting towards it or whatever and implying Carolyn, but she never said her name to anybody else. And some other people said it, and then she was like, she made the eyes like, yeah, you're onto something.
Well,
here.
she said she did that this episode. I don't know if she's been doing that the whole time.
Prior to that, she definitely said her name.
I'm talking about this episode because they just had the conversation up there where she kept trying to reassure her. You and I'm not going to say your name.
Yeah. But right now,
Carolyn did say.
But right now, everyone is throwing Danielle out
exactly.
We're getting ready to play chess on the mission right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, see, and this chess game, I mean, and here's the funny thing. Like, as soon as he was giving them the clues, he was, immediately I'm like, okay, it's going to be chess. And none of these idiots can put it together. I'm like, how do you morons not understand that it's going to be freaking chess? He said it's going to be a strategic game. And then he used the word rook-y and said it that way. I'm like, yeah, rook, chess. So it's going to be chess. And they're all like, oh, what are we going to be playing?
Well, you're just so smart.
So, yeah, for me, it's pretty damn simple, right?
Billy's putting it together.
Yeah.
But
they couldn't know.
Didn't they wheel out like Kate and Parvati for some reason?
Yeah.
Which they served like no purpose whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm like, what? We just see them and they're doing
good.
a little sideshow commentary. Yeah, it was kind of cool with their outfits with the chessboard, but they really didn't serve much of a purpose. Yeah.
I mean,
they were like the Vanna Whites of the chessboard. They're like, hey, here's the new chess piece, and here's the question they were asked, right?
It was fun listening to their little commentary about what was going on.
So what did you think of this kind of game where the traitors kind of know what's going on? They pick people, and
I would have liked to have seen this game with Rob as a traitor.
Oh yeah, dude.
That would have been interesting to see how that played out.
Well, I don't think he would have messed up like some person.
No, like Carolyn at this point, even with the choices, just playing into Danielle's hands. Carolyn's like, hey, I want to put this person. Danielle's like, yeah, let's do that person. Hey, I want to put myself out there. Yeah, girl, let's put you out there. If I were Carolyn
at this point in time, with how much distrust I have in Danielle, if I had made any suggestion and didn't get any kickback from Danielle, I'd be like, hold on, let me rethink that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and now
no kidding.
Dylan's like, you know what? I know the traitor knows the answer, so I'm just going to kind of kick back and see how this plays out and observe.
Exactly. And at that point, I'm thinking, okay, the traitors are just going to sit back and just start agreeing with everybody, which Danielle did. Right, Danielle played it smart, but then Carolyn was just a moron.
I mean, generally, if you're probably trying to strategize, you're like, rule number 1, never be the first person to mention something.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think she was the first person to mention somebody like 3 times.
Yeah, Carolyn mentioned Tom first, and then she mentioned herself.
But she didn't mention Tom.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do it.
And that's the hilarious part. She was adamant, like, oh, no, but no, but hey, guys, really, Tom, not Dylan, Tom. And everybody's like, yeah, we think it's Dylan. Okay.
But Dylan's been wrong. What about Tom?
Right, yeah, exactly.
And now we got onto Danielle before having a major mess up, and now it's Carolyn's moment to shine.
At the worst freaking time possible, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, she couldn't have picked a worse time.
Yeah.
And then, and of course, so, it's, everybody's like, oh my gosh, Dolores is like, look, Carolyn thought it was Tom, and it was. And she's like, I never said that. It's like, you just said it to everybody.
And it's like, we were here. We just literally heard that.
Right.
And then Dolores is like, I'm not saying you're a traitor.
Right. And Carolyn's just like, got this dumped on look on her face.
I'm going to be saying that.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan's like, I definitely think she is now.
I mean, that seemed like a major mess up, and she didn't even throttle it back after that.
No.
So
No, she like completely doubles down. I never said that. I never said that. Okay, and then Dolores is like, dude, chill out. Okay, I'm not saying you're a traitor here. I'm just mentioning what you said a minute ago.
Yeah.
So it's just like, Carolyn, what the hell are you doing, man?
I was waiting to see. I was fearful that they were never going to like use themselves as a person, and I was like, holy crap, you used everyone but yourself. That looks shady.
Oh yeah.
What I thought was funny is if you go back and look at it, Danielle's face when Carolyn's pretty much thrown herself under the bus. It's just like she's getting so giddy over there, and I'm like,
oh my God,
pay attention to that face too.
Well, then the next one, Carolyn put herself out there, and Danielle's like, yeah, girl, we'll put you on there, and Danielle's like, they're like, who is the person that it gets overlooked the most or whatever, and Carolyn's like, me, remember guys, I'm always the one that says y'all don't listen to me, and she's like throwing.
She convinced everyone.
And everybody's like, okay, even though most people would probably said Dolores, right? I mean, that would have been who I'd have been thinking of. I was like, Carolyn, you're an idiot. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah. The other thing, to bring it back to like when they were at breakfast, like everyone's like speculating on who it could be, but the traitors aren't saying anybody. So I wonder if that's kind of an indicator too. You're like, how come these two never are like throwing anybody out there?
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be interesting to like psychoanalyze all that and be like, okay, traitors normally don't ever do this. They don't do this usually, and then try and pick that apart.
Gabby picks up on a lot of stuff and is kind of keeping it to herself.
Yeah, and we see later.
Some
she does,
points,
we see
I
later
guess.
she does, yeah.
I think
Well,
she picks
someone's
up
got to
on
step up, right? Because we got rid of a lot of people.
Yeah, and what Gabby points out later, I was kind of like thinking to myself at the round table, I was like, why is nobody picking up on this? And luckily Gabby said it, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, so that's over. Carolyn really looks suspicious.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
And now we're moving to a little traitor on traitor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can we talk about how Danielle never said her name and Carolyn did? Is now the time?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Now we can
Carolyn
talk
when that
about it?
happens because Carolyn is trying to convince everyone Danielle. That gets back to Danielle, and she's like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, from Ivar. Ivar's like, well, Carolyn said you again. And
Oh,
she's like,
Ivar,
shit.
man. Ivar
Yeah.
just throws a wrench in the
yeah,
whole
he does,
thing.
man. That dude is like the biggest freaking,
Gossip?
yeah, exactly.
Can you believe this one said that they mentioned you?
Yeah.
What are you going to do about that, Danielle?
Your name's out there. My name's out there, kid. Carolyn was saying this.
Maybe that's smart because maybe Ivar's like, I'm going to pit these two against each other so no other people are brought into this.
Maybe, yeah.
Except for Tom and Dolores.
Yeah, but those are like,
We're always brought into
and of course,
it.
in this whole time, but Tom is serious about Dolores. And I'm like, what an idiot,
Yeah, he
man.
really does
I mean, he
think
is like, he's like, yeah, the Danielle thing, I get it, but I still think there's more against Dolores here. And I'm just like, what?
I love it. I love Tom's mind. He's just so
like,
far off base, but I love it.
But wouldn't it be awesome if Dolores was a traitor?
No, that would be funny because then nobody's listening to Tom at that point, right?
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
That would be kind of interesting, but nobody's playing like that, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly.
That's who they should have recruited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we get to the round table. It's kind of quiet. Ivar goes first. He's like, it's the women.
Yep. And then Gabby's like, and then Gabby tries talking over, like, hold on now, that's not necessarily true. He's like, I'm telling you what my opinion is here. My opinion.
Yeah, as you can tell, they're like, Ivar, no one cares what your opinion is. So,
All right, we'll hear it.
even
we'll
though
hear
he's
it.
spot on, right? So,
Yeah.
and then when it's funny because here time and time again, the moron that's going up against Danielle does not throw all the freaking the only thing Carolyn decided to say about Danielle is bringing up this stupid lie crap.
the lie.
Nobody really.
That
It's just
nobody
a lie.
knows.
That
He said, she said. Yeah, exactly.
she's like, remember
So-
the lie? And they're like, well, can you run that back one more time? Like, I don't know if they're tracking it or not, because
Yeah, exactly. It's
I
all,
I don't think they are.
tracking
It's
it.
all he said, she said, and she never brings up the whole thing about the freaking damn shield and all that other stuff that Danielle did. I'm just like, what kind of idiots did they put on this show that, it's like, it just kills me, man.
She just was like, here's the thing. Everyone was throwing Danielle out there. She had this in the bag until that mission.
She'd have just kept her damn mouth shut.
She
on this.
messed up the
Exactly.
mission.
She didn't,
time.
and that's the thing. Other people were throwing Danielle out. She never had to say Danielle's name. She should have just been like, oh, yeah, with
Exactly.
her little faces, like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, but by her like encouraging it instead of just agreeing with it, that's how it gets back that she's on board with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and she
starting it
doesn't
even.
have a great argument. I don't know if she
No, argument's
needs to too much because that's not how she normally plays things, right?
exactly.
Like Danielle says she's Columbo. I mean, Forrest Gump. I don't know about
Yeah.
Columbo. Columbo's pretty brilliant.
Oh,
but
exactly. Well, and here's the thing, too. What's killing me about Dylan at this point is Dylan's like, dude, I'm torn between these two. One of them's a traitor, one of them's not. They're both my friends. It's like, bro, has it ever crossed your stinking mind that they're both
Both
freaking
traitors.
traitors that are fighting against each other right now, And like, dude,
Yeah,
I
holy
think
crap.
that's,
No,
I
it
think that's
hasn't. Yeah.
Dylan's weakness. He gets
Yeah.
close to people.
Oh, yeah,
and
it is
he's
his
too
weakness.
trusting.
Big time.
Too
That
trusting.
is totally his weakness.
He's an empath, and I love him for it.
Yeah. So, and then it comes down to the votes.
Yeah, and the thing is, Carolyn automatically has to know you're not getting Brittany's vote, against
Yeah.
Danielle. So you're already
Yeah.
down one. So you better sell the hell out of this, and she just
She
does
puts
horrible.
on the waterworks
Just horrible.
and convinces Gabby, I guess, with
Yeah.
them.
Here's the part. Well, Gabby was already pretty hot.
Yeah, she's the
high
one who
on
first threw
yeah.
Danielle out there. Like, I'm on board.
Exactly.
Here's what I think people are overlooking here is they don't need to be targeting everybody at the round table. They need to be targeting as far as like obtaining votes. They need to be targeting Tom and Dolores to stop voting for Tom and Dolores.
Exactly.
Because that could sway, if they stop throwing away those votes, that could sway it. So you really have to convince them on who to vote for.
Yeah, exactly.
I did like how she goes back to Dylan and tries to secure his vote.
Well, and the thing is here too. I mean, you could tell Carolyn's tears are genuine because she does feel like in life she's been neglected because she's a weirdo and freaking people don't listen to her and crap.
Even though she's
So,
lying, she's genuine.
She's genuine about it. Right?
Yeah.
Like her tears are like no kidding genuine and
Yeah.
stuff, and you could tell she was like really upset about everything. But At the same time, like, dude, you had such an opportunity to sell yourself here, and you did a shit job, and then you did a horrible job of the chess match, and you deserve to be off at this point. She deserved to lose.
And that's why I don't think it comes off as smooth as Rob, because I think their emotions are really into this.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I think, impacting their ability to tell this cohesive story. Where Rob is just smooth because he's not emotionally compromised.
Yeah, exactly.
Like them,
Rob knows it's a game, and he plays it just like that.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Well, I mean, Danielle, I don't see how people aren't picking up that Danielle is an act. Like her whole, like how she's talking and her emotion, and Carolyn kind of calls her out. She's like, "Don't give me those tears."
Yeah.
Like,
but now here's what I will say, dude. Like after they finally out Carolyn and she's up there, I'm a traitor. Danielle's reaction, she hit the ground and she's like ducking down, like, "Oh my, I told you guys. I was like, oh my god,
such a cringe moment.
Dude, it was.
Me.
The Danielle shakes.
But they were all buying it, and I was like, oh my gosh, man.
I think she has pretty good reactions to when the Traitors win. Even when Boston Rob was real, I thought she had a decent reaction.
She does, but
I'm not buying it.
She does she gives it like maximum effort.
And the whole time I'm sitting here thinking, because the funny thing is, right now these are really the only two suspects anybody's talking about is these two. So I'm like, why aren't you idiots putting two and two together and be like, hey, maybe our only two suspects are no shit the two traitors who are battling it out right now, right? No. So you're like, what are these idiots doing? And then finally Gabby says it at the end. You're like, there you go, girl.
Yeah, she
like,
said,
holy
this
crap.
was giving me a little Rob on Bob
Exactly.
vibes.
I love Gabby.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, dude, about damn time somebody's freaking seeing it. I was like, holy cow, man.
Yeah, and I was a little worried because I'm like, we got one traitor and everyone seems to go, yeah, it's Danielle.
Right.
So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's time to recruit somebody.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Oh, yeah.
This is a problem.
The person being recruited thinks it could be a problem too.
Yeah,
exactly.
And she's screwed either way because.
And that's the stupid part about this.
At this point in time, obviously she's going to accept because she's dead otherwise,
you're dead,
right?
So, I mean, at that point, it shouldn't even be, hey, there's a choice. It's just, you might as well tell them, hey, you're a traitor now. Because who the hell is going to say, okay, just send me home, then I'm out? Nobody. Of course you're going to be a traitor if it's your choice, traitor or death, So
she's going to end up going with Danielle. And then now, I just don't see how the heat doesn't come off of either one of them. Because there was already a little heat. It's kind of died down a little bit, but there's already this little heat on Britney. There's some heat on Danielle. Gabby will probably keep, fueling that fire with, hey, did it not get the Rob on Bob kind of situation. So I don't see how they're going to stick together. I don't
they
see how
have to convince Tom and Dolores.
That's what I said.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if they can convince those two, their two votes, they probably can survive.
If she should have chosen Dylan. So she really should have chosen.
So you're going to convince Tom and Dolores of who, though? Because your only other options are Dylan,
Gabby at this point.
Yeah, Gabby.
Dylan, Gabby, and Ivar. Yeah. Those are your only other options.
I hit Gabby, and then I hit Ivar, and then friggin' take Dylan out. Because at this point, Danielle's got Dylan wrapped around her finger, because he's like, I know one of them is just so close to me.
I think they should probably go after Gabby.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think it should be Gabby. Either way, whoever is murdered next, which I guess I thought, if I remember correctly from season 2, when they recruit but don't die, that they didn't get to murder somebody.
I wouldn't think they're going to murder.
But he did say
he said they're going to murder somebody.
Well, then there you go. That's a big help right there because you're gaining one, eliminating one without any risk.
Exactly.
So then you're only left with Tom, Dolores, Dylan, and Ivar. So Dylan's going to pick up on Danielle and Britney still being there.
Mm-hmm. Well, the funny thing is with Tom, and at this point now, it's like, well, maybe you do want to keep Tom and Dolores because they're just going to keep going after each other. So you can start eliminating everybody else and then get rid of them too, right?
Yeah, you have two maybe against one, something like that, And
then what about a world where Tom and Dolores come together?
Yeah, that ain't happening. So yeah, Gabby, I think totally is the obvious next choice. Like they need to kill Gabby.
This is a problem. I think this is a problem.
Yeah.
So, I thought the show would be going down, but I thought this was a pretty decent episode still.
Because they didn't kill off Dylan.
Dylan was the deciding vote at the end.
He was.
He was so torn up. His face, it was so red. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. And then I really thought, I'm glad they took it well. And I'm glad her little speech of when she said it was hard to be a traitor, and then she announced that she was a traitor. And he was like relieved that he didn't make a wrong decision. But then he was like, man, because he's just so heartbroken about her crying, and she cried earlier, and then she cried then, and I just feel so sorry.
If you were smart, you'd have figured out that either way would have been a right decision.
I for some reason miss Carolyn on the show already though.
I know.
I don't know why, but she used to seeing her and her faces and how it's gone. So it's
I gotta tell you, I'm a Big Brother fan, and I loved Danielle on her first season of Big Brother. I think she did another season that I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I did like her on the first season. And I thought I would be rooting for Danielle, but if I had the choice, I would have rather had Carolyn.
Oh yeah, I'd rather had Carolyn do it too.
Yeah.
But.
Well,
Carolyn screwed up. And
I think Danielle's feeling high because she just got rid of Carolyn, so she's feeling like I'm the next Rob.
Yeah, but here's what Danielle should be feeling:
scared.
Holy crap! I was the only other name out there right now. Shit. I got rid of Carolyn, but are they going to put together the fact that it was traitor versus traitor?
That's a tomorrow problem.
Right?
Got to live in the moment for now.
Yeah.
So she's going to have to.
And she's got her bestie. We're going to do it together. She was crying about that earlier.
Right. Well, and the thing is, though, and actually here, though, out of either one of them, Brittany's got the leg up, really, because she brought Britney in. Now, Britney could agree with Gabby and say, yep, I think you're right, Gabby. It was traitor versus traitor. Get Danielle out, and then she's the sole traitor, right? So.
Yeah, but there is the whole, history between Brittany and Danielle on the season that they were on together.
Didn't
Britney screw Danielle over, so
maybe
for her to do it again.
Right. That'd be great.
Oh,
you didn't learn, girl.
Oh, man. But in reality, they have to go against each other. I don't see how this works without them doing
Danielle
that.
was not happy to see Brittany, but now they're besties.
Oh,
so,
exactly.
wow.
Yeah, now they've hugged it out.
And there was a reason for that. And I feel the next time they interact after this season, it'll be the same
maybe
way.
she won't do that. I don't know. But
I don't see how it works with them working together.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't either. Like I said, right now, I think by Brittany, I think if Brittany played her cards right, she could have the upper hand on Danielle here and freaking really do something with it. But we'll see.
And she doesn't even have to say it. That's the thing.
No,
she
she
does
can
not
agree with
have to
Gabby.
pull it. Yeah, she just has to be like, oh, that's interesting. And listen to the conversations and just kind of be in agreement. She doesn't have to encourage or anything.
Because she did say, remember when the one-on-ones, even Brittany was like, Danielle is my closest ally here, but she is being shady, and I think maybe she could be a traitor. So, she just agreed with Gabby, be like, girl, I had that same thought, I didn't want to say anything because we're close, but...
She didn't even have to say anything. She just has to nod. She just has to give the impression that she's somewhat on board with the idea.
Yep.
I think that's the smartest way to play
I hope she does. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome.
if she gets Gabby and then Dylan, if assuming they're alive. So
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I guess that's a tomorrow question, right? So
there you go.
Yeah. So do you think they killed... Who do you think they kill?
I think they're going to kill Gabby.
What if
I mean,
they
is
kill
Gabby
Dylan?
too much, though, because she's the one coming up with this plan? So would that be too obvious and even put more heat on Danielle? Or,
Do they know
or is Tom and them not able to put that together?
But do they know... Who did she tell?
She said it to two people. Who was there with her?
She
at the
told
end?
it
She
to
said
Tom.
Tom, was it Tom and Dolores that were there sitting
I
there
think
with
it
her?
was
I think it was
Tom
and
and
Dolores. Yeah.
So do they know that she's saying, hold on, this traitor thing? I don't know.
Yeah. We'll find out next week. There you have, folks. That is episode 9 down. We're getting down to the wire, man. We've got 7 people left here. 2 traitors out of 7, so their odds are actually looking pretty good right now, I think, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Hey, let us know what you think. We love chatting with you guys on this, and as always, hit that like and subscribe, and we will check you at our next review.
When you
man, I'm like,
guys
holy
make
crap.
comments or bring things up, I respond to them. When I do it, it's just like blank air.
Not respond to your comments.
Sometimes I feel like you go on too long.
I look at you, literally, I'll have said 3 words and I'll look at you, and your face is returning the look to me and saying, this bitch is talking again. I'm like, really? That's what your face says.
And then Dylan's just watching all.
You gotta start it. That seems like a major mess up.
Well, that's why I waited till there was a pause, and
Yeah.
then right before you start talking about the next topic.
I was talking.
No.